Okay, you're probably wondering, where the hell am I? I'm standing in front of this nice heater. Got the water tank, we've got a hose, and I got a brothersicle. Yeah, he's kind of like a brother but a popsicle at the same time, doing the rig out there. That's what all the hoses are. I went to start my van today. It was minus 36 last night. It's still about minus 20 something. I plugged my van in for about an hour and a half. I turned the key on. Stop turning the key! So my van isn't going anywhere today. So he's out there hosing. He's doing my old job. And I figured, well, I'm going to come and see him and see how he's doing. And I figured, well, while I'm at it, I might as well make a video. I forget what the light switch is in here. Or the lights for too. No. Ah, there we go. So they even got new hoses. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that nice, fancy new red hoses? That'll be fun for kids. Okay, so I'm going to make this one kind of quick. Here. Okay. All right, so I watched that interview with Assad and... oh, it's nice here. I'm standing right here. Looks like what he was saying was that, they've taken Aleppo. There's still a few holdouts, whatever. And now they're going to regroup and basically... donation hockey sticks. Now they're going to regroup and basically get ready to take Idlib province. But what he was saying is he's not so worried about that because it's on the outskirts. The goal was to take the bigger cities, Damascus and trying to get the right angle here to warm my hands. Damascus and Aleppo. So they've got that. He, remember 2 months ago he said, yeah, we're probably going to take Damascus, take Aleppo by Christmas. So the war isn't even close to over. But he also points the fingers where who is basically supplying the rebels and stuff like that. And so it was an interesting interview anyway, whether you like him or not. It is a different perspective. And he still makes a good point. He goes, if the world, the mainstream media goes, they got to be lying. Just think about it logically. And he does make a good point here. If he was such a bad dictator that everybody was against him, there would be, nobody would fight for him. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And there's true that nobody would fight for them. So anyway, moving on. OPEC is supposed to be cutting oil. The oil supply, they've cut a bit, but they're supposed to cut like a lot by January 1st, so get ready for oil to go up. U.S. halts weapon sales to Saudi Arabia over Yemen. So they're not really halting it, they're just kind of finding a way that they can get the weapons to Saudis so it doesn't look politically incorrect because of what the Saudis are doing to the Yemenis and the Houthis and all that, right? This one's kind of funny, and again, we see really clearly that they are trying to steal the election from Trump. They're calling for re-elections. They're doing all the things. Remember Hillary Clinton saying there, Donald Trump, I was shocked when he wouldn't say he wouldn't just accept the election results. But again, it's not about Hillary Clinton. It's about the system that she supports, right? Which supports all this war, Greater Israel Project, etc., etc. If you understand the petrodollar, Greater Israel Project, you understand what the wars are about. So it turns out in the recounts, more voters in Detroit than there were more votes than there were voters. So that means people voted several times. So I don't know. I think Hillary Clinton still had Detroit, but still, it shows you, the fraud, the actual fraud. The Federal Reserve raised rates 1.4%. They're talking about doing it 4 times this year. I think they're going to do this because they have a scapegoat if the economy goes south. So it's their second hike in 10 years. So, 0.25%. That's not really a rate hike. But it is a direction that they need to be going. I mean, if they were to do this, that means eventually banks would probably start making money again. And then at least they wouldn't become so insolvent. So the idea is, as long as they don't drop rates, and as long as they're above 1%, there's possibility of... but the banks are still insolvent because they lend money out to people who can't possibly pay it back. Now, the canary in the coal mine right now is India, where India and Venezuela are getting rid of like $100 bills, $20 bills, $1,000 bills, that type of thing. You can go look at the denominations that they're getting rid of. But Venezuela is going to be issuing a $20,000 bill. So they basically went Weimar Republic, or kind of like what Mexico was when I was a kid, where a loaf of bread was 10,000 pesos. Well, looks like Venezuela basically, they have to devalue their currency. But in India, they're going cashless. And you see that in a lot of countries going cashless. And again, for that 2018 One World Currency, I think this is the trial balloon. Will it come? Will the Rothschild 2018 One World Currency come in by 2018? It's hard to say. Maybe it might be 2020. But this is the trial balloon. So right now, it looks like they're also seizing gold and silver from the civilians. If you're from there, let me know what's going on. Yeah, so that does play into the war because it shows you how insolvent everybody is, but it also shows you another scary thing that, kind of like we saw this in the 1930s where, they were confiscating gold and stuff like that. Hey, he's almost done. Nice. He said he wasn't too pros out there, but yeah, that's good. You got a new bill, HR 6393, hopefully I got the bill right. This is to label the fake news, basically to put everything in categories. So, of course, Fox News, CNBC, NBC, CNN, those will be considered real news. Everybody else will be either considered, National Enquirer, you know what I mean? Everybody else is fake news. So that's kind of what's going on there. HR 4919, I believe is, hopefully I got this one. Basically, a bill that now legalizes chipping people in the United States, such as small children or senior citizens that might wander away from the old age home or something like that. Kind of like what you do with your dog. So right now that bill is making it legal to do it. So today it's legal to do it and voluntary, but probably by 2020, 2030, it'll be mandatory. You want to send your kids to schools, they have to be chipped. That type of thing. It's always incremental and creeping, eh? Like, make it socially acceptable first, then step it up. That said, 218 Abrams tanks, M1A Abrams tanks, to be sold to Qatar, and basically, again, all the stuff going on in that area, all the Yemen and all that. So I guess, again, if you're an American watching this, I'm a Canadian, so if you're an American watching this, you froze.
Pretty close,
yeah. Yeah, the fun part, trying to get the hose back in before it freezes to the ground.
Yeah.
Time is of the essence. The abominable brother Corey. There you go. That's kind of funny. But anyway, so they got 218 of these Abrams tanks going to Qatar. And again, if you're American, watch this. Apparently, with the U.S. TOW missiles that they're giving to like ISIS and stuff like that, some of them are landing in the hands of the Houthis as well. And of course, they have that, RPG-29, RPG-31, the Cornet missile. I think is one of them is the Cornet missile. Same kind of idea of the TOW missile, and they're blowing the crap balls out of the Saudi Abrams tank. So if you're an American tanker and you're looking at that, you're going to find out in a World War III scenario how vulnerable the Abrams tank is. And it looks like even Turkey has lost a 2A4. But mind you, I don't know how modernized their 2A4s are. We have 2A4s here in Canada, but ours are pretty much completely, modernized. That said, those anti-tank missiles are pretty damn powerful. So they lost a 2A4 to a TOW missile, BGM or AGM-71 or whatever. And so interesting what's going on there. And of course, Turkey's saying that it's really there to fight Assad. They're going to regroup again, and they're opening up I forget, do I have it written in here? 89 outposts on the Syrian-Turkish border. So they got that going on. So the Turkey's still doing what it was doing. So regardless of U.S. intervention or whatever, they're still out there to really fight the Kurds, and the Syrians. It is what it is, right? It's the Middle East. None of them get along, so that type of thing. Of course, going to Israel, the IDF gave weapons to, you might as well say, ISIS. That's the route that they're doing is basically the CIA gives the weapons to them. They give it to the IDF. The IDF then gives it to the rebels, what have you. And 944 tons of weapons that they've tracked so far. So, who's arming who, right? Saudi Arabia gives Manpad launchers to ISIS with orders to shoot down Russian Su-34s. Good luck with that. You're such a hoser.
I know, I never figured out what it meant before.
Now you get it?
I thought, why hoser? Like, why? That makes sense now.
Yeah. Because we're out there. How Canadian can you be being a hoser at a hockey rink? Look at the plethora of hot. I'm gonna have to get my skates out and get the water up before it freezes. Get the water up before it freezes.
Yeah.
I played that game before too. And look at all the free hockey sticks for the kids. Yeah. I'm gonna have to see if there's a right-hander in there. We got a goalie stick here. Nobody ever supplies us a proper goalie stick. Yeah. Okay, where are we at here? Oh yeah, Obama's making his last push on the United Nations Small Arms Trade Treaty deal. Remember, Justin Trudeau signed it. I don't think it's fully implemented here in Canada because we still have gun ownership for now. Assad said that in Aleppo that the food delivery from the UN and stuff like that only went to the rebels. It didn't go to the civilians. And there does seem to be evidence of that. Russian ground forces are expanding on the Western Front. They're taking basically teaming up 3 tank divisions per 1 rifle regiment type of thing. And I forget how many different vehicles are being revamped right now. BRDMs, BMP 2s, 4s, or 2s and 3s and whatever, BRT 80s, a ton of T72s. All of them are getting like upgrades and being outfitted for this border war on the Western Front. So basically to keep NATO out. But they're bringing in, I think it's 8 groups along the border. So that is like a significant amount of buildup on the Russian border. Yes, it's in their country, whatever, but they're also bringing in Chechen forces and anti-terrorism forces and stuff like that on the border with Ukraine and other countries. So that's what's going there. It's their first line of army of defense that's going on the Western Front, and basically there's going to be a short World War III just because it's kind of cold out today. But basically, the Russians again, they're not taking any chances, even with Donald Trump in there. In fact, things are a lot more crazy than what they were before Donald Trump. And if they are able to overthrow Donald Trump's presidency or delegitimize it, or however, you can see what the system is doing in the mainstream media. Although it is coming back that the counts are kind of becoming in favor, I think Donald Trump probably actually is going to win the popular vote with these recounts. But however, the idea is you got the CIA against them, you got the mainstream media against them, the banking system against them, his own party, it's cutthroats everywhere. So there's a good chance that they could possibly, especially with the Electoral College, how they're going to overthrow Trump's presidency, or at least attempt to. That's where the coup is going to be. And if they do that, number one, it'll be hell to pay. But the other part of it is that there's a good possibility that that'll lead us more to war if they can get Clinton into power. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at about that just because it's kind of cold out, and I thought I'd just do a quick World War III update. Normally they're longer and there's more annals, but just keep people to know what's going on. So if you like this kind of content, please consider making a donation channel. Links down below. Thank you so much to everybody who has. Next to that, rate, subscribe, share, comment, like. Be true to yourself, be true to others. Always, always, always. Coming in? Yeah, there you go. Get the frozen hoses in. Brought in by a hoser. Anyway, have yourselves a great day. G'day and welcome. All right, World War III update. Okay, you're probably wondering, where the hell am I? I'm standing in front of this nice heater. Got the water tank, we've got a hose, and I got a brother-sicle. Yeah, he's kind of like a brother, but a popsicle at the same time, doing the rig out there. That's what all the hoses are. I went to start my van today. It was minus 36 last night. It's still about minus 20 something. I plugged my van in for about an hour and a half. I turned the key on. Stop turning the key! So my van isn't going anywhere today. So he's out there hosing. He's doing my old job. And I figured, I'm going to come and see him and see how he's doing. And I figured, while I'm at it, I might as well make a video. I forget where the light switch is in here. Or the lights for too. No. There we go. So they even got new hoses. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that nice, fancy new red hoses? That'll be fun for kids. Okay, so I'm going to make this one kind of quick. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I watched that interview with Assad, and oh, it's nice here. I stand right here. Looks like what he was saying was that they've taken Aleppo. There's still a few holdouts, whatever, and now they're going to regroup and basically donation hockey sticks. Now they're going to regroup and basically get ready to take Idlib province. But what he was saying is he's not so worried about that because it's on the outskirts. The goal was to take the bigger cities, Damascus and trying to get the right angle here to warm my hands. Damascus and Aleppo. So they've got that. Remember 2 months ago he said, yeah, we're probably going to take Damascus, take Aleppo by Christmas. So the war isn't even close to over. But he also points the fingers where